Hello, Dylan Belmont.
Hi, Kelly. Do you know what we're gonna do with this recording? Are we posting it somewhere?
We're gonna put it on our YouTube channel. Our
Oh,
Human
wait, hold
Services
on.
YouTube channel. Does that work?
I can't hear you. Is that my fault?
We're gonna put it on our YouTube channel. Can you hear me?
Hmm. Okay, how about now?
We're going to put it on our YouTube channel.
Okay. We're good.
Better? Can you hear me? Okay, we're gonna put it on the YouTube channel.
Oh,
Dolly,
okay.
bring your ball here. Bring it here. Sorry, Dylan. I'm gonna yell at you. Oh, man. I enjoyed our time together yesterday, by the way. It was nice.
Oh, it was so fun. So good. Yeah, no, I want to do that all the time. But we're too busy. That's unfortunate. Okay, we are set to go. They didn't want to share their screen for the PowerPoint.
No, they're going to be hosts. I sent you a list of people I need to be co-host.
Yeah, I have.
So they'll do their own PowerPoint, I think.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I have it up just in case.
Thank you, Dylan. You're gonna watch me do the indigenous.
I was thinking about it this morning.
Augie, no licks. Stop. The key dogs are driving me crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask any questions, but I'm very curious what's gonna happen, Kelly.
What?
With your statement, or
I'm just nervous. I'm not gonna do it right.
do you have like a script to go off of, or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
then you'll be fine.
Hey, knock it off. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down. Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Good morning.
We're looking forward to this. Great.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited.
Let me choose a virtual background too.
I know
There
I
we
started freaking out because I'm going, okay, wait, I'm supposed to sign on at 9:50. Where's the link? I don't
Yeah,
have the link.
sorry.
And I'm like, Renee, you got the link? It's okay. I thought, oh no, it's in this email somewhere. I gotta go back.
I registered for my own webinar at 9:49 a.m. So
I'm with you. I'm okay.
it was a mad dash. That's why we build in these little buffers before everything gets kicked off, right?
Perfect. I love it.
Good morning, Elena. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
I see your comment in the chat.
I want to make sure I have all of these other. Make sure I don't have open.
Thank you, Dylan, for your efforts in getting info out to us. We appreciate it. I just got your email right now.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
sounds
Yep.
good.
Mhm.
Whoever that is, we can hear you.
You can't see me? No? Renee.
Who's me?
Renee, you
Renee.
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
You and hear you, Renee.
Yes.
you see me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you see me?
We
Yes.
can't see you, yes.
Oh, okay. The camera's working. Great.
Are you able to see us? Renee?
Yes, I can see everybody and I can hear everybody.
Okay,
I bought a new camera, so.
gotcha.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will be getting started here in just a couple minutes. We appreciate you being here. Morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Amber.
Hello, good morning. Hi, Serena. Hello, everyone.
All right, it is the top of the hour, but I would, if you don't mind, I would like to wait just another minute or two. We do have quite a few people registered for the event, and I would like to have a few more people here before we get started. Thank you. Okay, Lisa, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Good morning. It's pleasure to be here with everyone on this beautiful, beautiful day in Arizona. My name is Lisa Urias, and I am the Chief Program and Community Engagement Officer for the Arizona Community Foundation. And in that role, we are charged with oversight of our discretionary grant giving, which is distributed statewide, as well as our loan funds. And our loan funds, our impact lending program is largely engaged in affordable housing, in helping nonprofits statewide, and with a very interesting USDA program where we provide bridge loans to unlock really important projects across the state so that they can access significant USDA grants. And I'm very happy to be here with you today to speak about this very important topic. We are all very interested in finding ways to be better and do more to support housing on tribal lands. We have supported, I think, 3,800 homes in Arizona over the past several years at ACF with our affordable housing pre-development fund, which is a zero interest rate grant. Basically, it's a repayable grant that goes out for affordable housing. So it's just part of the capital stack for affordable housing. And we have worked with lots of organizations across the state, but unfortunately, we haven't been able to do anything yet on tribal lands. So we hope to be able to do that into the future. And we know that we're learning a lot from everyone that we've been speaking with. And I'm very, very pleased to have Serena Denetsotsi with us at ACF as a part of our team to help us navigate this world of engaging better within our tribal communities. So Serena, I will let you now introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And thank you, Kelly and Dylan, for creating this space for us to meet this morning. So yeah, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to welcome you and welcome you to the webinar that we're doing here on affordable housing on tribal lands. The intent of this meeting is for us to get together and learn together and progress together in all these different infrastructures that can be sometimes challenging. And one thing that as Indigenous people, we know how to do is overcome challenges as well as network together. So before I begin, I'd like to just also establish kinship and introduce myself in my Diné traditional way. Yeah, I'm Tadeshkijnin Shlaki Ani Bashichin, Ado Twadicine Dashichesh Ganzo Edashinala, Ado Tadlichita as Kande I Yusinasha, Ado out the Nasanshle. And just to continue, the intent of this meeting is to make sure we have a space, a safe space to ask questions, to learn, as well as being able to collectively work together on affordable housing. It's going to take a lot of minds and great minds and advocacy for us to be able to make an impactful change and movement in this area. And I'm happy to be here to work alongside you, to ask any, you can definitely ask me any questions, as well as being able to be a connector too. That's another important area that we have to remember as we work with the unique infrastructure of the 22 sovereign nations here in Arizona. So welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us.
And with that, I'd like to introduce myself as well. My name is Kelly Donnelly Williams. I'm the Director of Human Services at the Maricopa Association of Governments. I wanted to thank our partners, the Arizona Community Foundation, in this work today, and also introduce our speakers. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My family is originally from County Donegal in Ireland, and I was born in Arizona, and I'm proud to still live and work here today. This is my first time publicly acknowledging Indigenous lands, and I wanted to specifically thank Serena for helping me understand the importance of such acknowledgements, and also that it's okay to be vulnerable in learning about these sorts of processes. The Maricopa Association of Governments welcomes you today. Our office is located in Phoenix in Maricopa County. I would like to acknowledge that this is the Indigenous land of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, Gila River Indian Community, Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, Ak-Chin Indian Community, and that of the Tohono O'odham people. I would like to also acknowledge their ancestors. We recognize these Indigenous people of this land and honor their history, and we welcome you all today to honor our future and working together. I will commit to continuing to learn about the Indigenous people of this community, and I hope you will also. With that, I would like to introduce our speakers today. Dark Feather Ancheta is a Tulalip tribal citizen. The Tulalip tribe is located north of Seattle, Washington, and she is currently working for Click and Close DBA First Tribal Lending. It's the #1 HUD 184 Native Home Loan lender in Indian country. First Tribal is a team that specializes in this home loan and has closed more than 70,000 of this specific type of loan on and off of tribal lands. Her title is HUD 184 Advocate, BIA Liaison, and her role includes working with tribes, tribal housing authorities, tribal members, the BIA, brokers, correspondent partners, realtors, and builders. Her colleague, Renee Konski, is a loan originator and branch manager, for Click and Close DBA of First Tribal Lending. She has been employed in originating loans with First Tribal Lending for more than 10 years. First Tribal Lending is a direct lender, again, of HUD 184 Native American loan programs. Prior to this employment with First Tribal, Renee spent 20 years originating HUD 184 loans as a mortgage broker. She currently resides in the metropolitan Phoenix area and has a passion for providing housing for Native Americans. She believes the mortgage loan process should be stress-free. With that, we thank both Dark Feather and Renee for being here today, and we're looking forward to learning from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I'm going to, is it okay to share my screen now? Get going. Yeah.
Absolutely. We also have your slides
Thank
available
you,
if you'd like Dylan to advance them. Okay, there you go.
Okay, you got it? Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We ought Alcha Obelcha it's all seats dot Lisa Part seats Goy, Felon Chad Teat Bod, 12 the Flaylet, 12 the Flaylet Chud. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My name is Dark Feather Ancheta. My mother's name is Lisa Powers, and she's Nimina. And my father is Phil Ancheta, and he is Tulalip. And I am enrolled at Tulalip tribes in Washington State. And a little bit of history about myself is I used to work at Tulalip Housing Authority. I was the point of contact for our tribal members to come in and talk to us about home loans. What is a home loan? Can this even be done? Is this something that's possible? That was when I was introduced to the HUD 184 home loan. I went from the tribe over to the lending world and went over to Tribal Point at Greenpoint Mortgage. And that's where I got introduced to actually doing the 184 loan. It's one thing to talk about the 184 loan, and then it's a whole nother thing to go through the process. And that's actually how I ended up purchasing my house. So I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, this is how it can be, and this is what we should do. And this, I'm telling you, this is what I had to do in order to get into my house using the 184 loan on the reservation. I have a lease, so I had to go through the whole leasing process. I had to go through the BIA approval process and everything. So speaking from experience here, after Tribal Point, I went to Native American Home Lending and then landed here at First Tribal Lending. So it's a little bit about myself. And Renee, I'm going to pass it over to you for the introductions if you want to.
Okay, good morning. My name is Renee Konski, and yes, I am a local 184 loan originator branch manager here in the North Valley. I've been in the mortgage industry for over 25 years. Obviously, my passion is housing. Before I became a member of the First Tribal team, I was a broker, and I spent a lot of years just working directly with Fannie Mae before the HUD program was even available, offering home loans on the reservation. So I go back quite a ways with construction and home loans on the reservation. Again, I've been with First Tribal Lending for 10 years now. I work pretty much all over the state of Arizona, and I work directly with a lot of the tribes offering home buyer education classes and the mortgages for new construction and existing houses on the reservation.
Thank you. And the agenda today, what we wanted to cover is what is a 184 loan? Some of you guys may have never even heard of what that is. Some highlights about what is included in the loan, what we can do, and then what are some different loan types with that loan, because there's a lot of options that we have. And then what do you do to qualify? How is it that you can actually get into the loan? Right away, I'd like to thank Affordable Housing in Arizona on tribal lands. I want to thank you guys for allowing us to be here and allowing us to take part in this session, because it's wonderful to spread the news, because not everybody knows about the 184 loan. So it is a very niche loan product. So again, thank you for this time, and thank you for putting this together. A bit overview for those of you that don't know about the 184 loan. It's kind of like a similar loan. We call it a sister loan to FHA. So, and I call it your guys' world. in the other world, what we call it, you guys are used to FHA. You're very familiar with that. This is a little bit different. It has some of the same program guidelines a little bit, but it's different because we are allowed to use this on trust land. So the program itself was developed in 1992. It is annually funded by Congress, and it is nationwide. I know this meeting specifically is focusing specifically in Arizona, which we can do, but also it is available to those across the nation. So it's not just restricted to Arizona area. And there are different types of land that we're allowed to use this. This is part of the difference of FHA. FHA, you guys aren't allowed to use this on trust land. You don't even know what trust land is. What is that? How does that even work? We have 3 different types of trust land or land that we can use it on. We can use it on fee land. That's what you guys are used to. Any land that has taxes on it, that's off the reservation, outside of the boundaries. Fee land is where we can do this. We can also do it on trust land where the tribe owns it. There are lands that tribes own that are specifically for them, and that's one of the lands that we can use it on. Those are going to require a lease. So if there are any tribal members that are going, yeah, I want to do that, and they've talked to the tribe and they got the land assignment, we're not allowed to use the land assignment. We're going to have to use the lease. So when the tribe owns the land, the tribe gives the permission for us to put that mortgage on their land with the lease. And then the other type of land is going to be allotted trust land, which is land that a family member owns. So it's the individual tribal member. So it would not be the tribe's land, it would actually be like my land. I have land in my name, or my family has land. So any types of those are going to be allowed with the 184 land. If we go on to trust land, the BIA is going to have to be involved. So we'll get into that a little bit later. This is the map of where the eligible areas are for the 184 loan. We cannot use it in every single state. There does have to be a tribe that has covered that service area within the state. And so this is our eligible areas. If you're looking for something in the red, we can get you the counties that are specific to that state. But Arizona specifically, anywhere in the state, we are allowed to use the 184 loan. The partners, usually when you guys are doing FHA loans or anything like that, it's kind of plain and simple. You guys got your routine of who you're going to be working with. With the 184, you might have a little bit of some other partners that are stepping in, especially on the trust land. That's the big difference. Our partners are going to be HUD, because it is a guaranteed loan. We are following the HUD guidelines. So HUD is going to be there, us as the lender, the tribes. Sometimes the tribes offer down payment assistance. That's a program that the tribe offers. That's something we can utilize. There's lots of different programs that have down payment assistance with the tribes and they range. It can go to couple hundred dollars to thousands of dollars. They might have a match program. Every tribe has a little bit of a different program, but it's assistance that is super helpful to getting tribal members into the housing. Tribal housing is also another partner. There are some documentation that if we're on using the 184 loan on trust land, the tribe has to fill out documents for us. So they're going to be our key because we need their authorization on some of these documents. So tribal housing is also going to be a huge partner. On trust land, we have to use the BIA, or the Bureau of Indian Affairs, for our title. We can't just go up to a title company and ask them, hey, on trust land, look up what's in the past title chain on that. You go to the county, they're going to look at you and go, we don't know. We don't manage those. We don't manage those lands. We don't have any documentation on that. And they're right. So if there's any kind of trust land, if we're looking for title, that's all BIA. BIA is the one who manages all of that. Another partner could be the realtors. Realtors are going to usually be off res, not so much on trust land, but they become part of the partners too. And then if we're going to be, we can do new construction. If we're going to be building, we're going to also have a builder as part of that partnership too. Who can get the 184 loan? We can actually have multiple applicants. So we can have a tribe, any enrolled tribal member of a federally recognized tribe as an individual could get this. So let's say me as a Tulalip tribal member decided, you know what, I'm done with this rain up here in the Northwest. I don't want to be here. I want to go down to the sun. I want to go down and get some heat. I don't know about the summers though. You guys, it's too hot. You guys, it's way too hot there. Maybe I might go over to like Oregon. Maybe it's too hot down in Arizona. I could use this loan as a tribal member from Washington. I could use this down in Arizona if I had to make sure that the AC really, really, really worked. But I could use it anywhere as a tribal member. I don't have to be restricted to just Washington State or just my reservation. I could use it anywhere. So if you have cousins that are out of state or no tribal member who's just moved in, they may not have even heard of this 184 loan. So any tribal member, they have to be enrolled. They cannot be descendants. They have to show and prove their enrollment. Any Alaskan natives that are enrolled. The other option is the tribe. The tribe could be the one who could take out these loans also, or the Tribal Housing Authority. Maybe they might have a development that they're looking for. You know, they want to put 5 homes up for college students who are just starting and they want to get them into a good base, and that's something they're looking to do. They could take out 5 184 loans and provide that assistance. So we have multiple options for people who can take out the loan. Some highlights, the big one is we are not credit score driven. So there is no minimum credit score. A lot of people are like, oh, I gotta wait until, they pay off a collection account, they're in the 580s. I can't do anything, I gotta wait. That's not the case with the 184 loan. Credit is a huge part, but we are not credit score driven. We don't need that magic number of. So that's kind of the sister loan part, right? We're a little bit different. We're not credit score driven. Credit is a factor. And a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, we don't even need to worry about credit. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the score. Don't worry about the score. So we can have tribal members who they didn't know they even had a collection account on there. Turn around, go pay that off, come back, show us proof. Let's move. Let's go forward. We can go. We don't have to wait for it to report, to get a number, to raise We don't have to do that. That's awesome. The other one is there's low PMI. So the PMI is only 0.25. The reason why that has come into the program is because we're trying to be like FHA to where we're self-sustained. So right now we do have to follow the government clock. So we're going to be on the shutdown. When the government shut down, so is our 184 loans. So it's government driven. We're trying to get up to FHA level to where we don't have to go through with the shutdown. It is flexible underwriting. So we do have actual people who are looking at this. This is not just click it in, see if we fit in the box. Can we get approved? Yes or no? That is not us. We are going to ask for all kinds of documentation. We're going to have an actual person looking through this. And so there's some things that need a little bit of explaining. And when we're on trust land, there's some things that just don't fit in the box. So we have to have actual people that are looking at this. So very, very flexible underwriting. The down payment, big difference. This is lower than FHA. The down payment's only 2.25%, and it can be a gift. It does not have to be coming from their own funds. If the tribe has a down payment assistance, that's wonderful. We actually suggest tribal members going to their tribe. Did you know? Go see if they have anything. It's something that can help them out. So very low down payment. Our debt to income ratio, this is how we determine how much somebody is allowed to get, what kind of loan they're going to be getting. We look at how much money they have coming in versus how much money that's going to be going out. And that our comfortable area, I would like to say, is 41%. We like to make sure that we don't go above that. We don't want to set tribal members up for failure. So we don't want to have your debt going up beyond that, because it's just setting you guys up. So debt to income ratio is pretty flexible. The market rate, it is going to be, the interest rate is going to be determined by the market. So it is fixed. It is not adjustable. And the rates, Renee, I think that we're up over 6 right now. Is that where we're at today?
Yep, today
So
we're
some
currently
features.
at about 6.5
Okay, 6.5.
on a
That's where
30-year.
we're at today.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Some of the features of the loan is we can go a 30-year or we can go 15. It's a fixed rate. There is no adjustables. There is a guarantee fee that goes directly to HUD. This can be financed, or if the tribal member brings it in, that's either way. The big difference on this loan is it also has to be the primary residence. So because it is such a wonderful loan, we do not like to see that is going to be used for investments. We want this to be the roof that the tribal member and their family is going to be living in. So we don't want somebody to turn around and rent it out, because it's a good loan. So don't tell us that you're going to be renting it. Some loan types, something that you can do with these, we can purchase existing houses. So anything that's already built, totally fine. We can purchase a house and remodel it. We can do that, included that in the loan. We can, maybe you're already in a house and you want to do some remodeling, we can remodel the existing house. We can build, we can do new construction. We can do manufactured homes, modular homes, or the stick-built homes. So there's lots of different options. We can also do consolidation. Sorry, I didn't put this on here. We can do debt consolidation, and we can do up to $25,000 cash out on this loan also. Again, the BIA, who is the BIA? I wanted to include this in here for those that don't really work with the BIA or who may not have really heard of them. They are our title company for all trust land. So they provide us the documentation, which is called a Certified Title Status Report, or a TSR. We are required to have that. If the tribe owns the land, it has to be 1 year or less old. The date of it has to be 1 year. If it's a tribal member's land, then it has to be 6 months or less for us to be able to use that title. If we're about ready to close and that TSR is going to expire, we're going to have to go to BIA and go get a new one. BIA also maintains all the records and the mortgages. So after our mortgage gets done, we send it back. Instead of sending it to the county for recording, we send it to the BIA. And the BIA is going to put that on the title and then kick out the title status report reflecting our mortgage that we just did. So then another thing that we can do with the 184 loan is new construction. And I'm going to pass it over to Renee and let her go into this and cover this slide. There she is.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My phone started ringing. Okay, new construction. So in the new construction program, we offer what's called a single closed permanent loan. So you're going to get one 30-year fixed mortgage that's going to take care of the construction process, but also be there once the construction is done and carry on that same interest rate for the remaining 30 years left on your loan, or maybe it's 29 years, depending upon how long it takes you to build. We do allow you to choose or pick the individual member to pick their own contractor. Typically, we will get that contractor approved with us because we want to make sure that they have the licensing, insurance, et cetera, in place. When we do a construction project, we don't just write a contractor a check and say, here, we hope you build a house. Basically, they work on what's called a draw schedule. In other words, do a little bit of work, get a little bit of money, do more work, get a little bit more money. So when we work with contractors on any of our projects, we expect them to perform some work before payment, okay? Throughout the process, we are going to perform inspections. Our inspections are for the purpose of making payment to the contractor. Our inspections are not to determine if the house meets any type of building code or county code. It's simply for the purpose of paying a contractor and making sure the work is completed prior to paying that contractor. The construction loan program does have what's called a construction fee. That's the lender or bank's fee to do the construction loan, and it's 1% of the loan amount is how they charge that fee. When we close a construction loan, that initial payment is going to begin within 30 to 45 days. So even though your house might not be completed, your payment on that 30-year fixed mortgage will begin in about 30 to 45 days after we close your loan, along with typical construction. So once we close that loan, we're going to notify the contractors to go ahead and begin their work because now the loan is closed, but your payment will also begin within 30 to 45 days. In addition, we add to each loan a 10% contingency. The contingency is used to cover unexpected, unforeseen events that can happen during the course of construction. The 10% contingency is put on the work performed by contractors. So if you're doing a site-built, stick-built house, we would add that 10% contingency to the total cost. If you were doing a manufactured home and you're ordering that house directly from the factory, we would not put the 10% contingency on the cost of the home, but we would put the contingency on the cost of the contractor that's putting in the foundation and hooking up the utilities. We do not allow cash back in hand on this program. So in other words, we don't give you cash back if that contingency isn't used. We will allow you to use any remaining contingency to improve your property. In other words, you could add a garage, a porch, a carport, a fence. We will not allow you to use that extra contingency, unused contingency for personal property. We also offer you the option of lowering your loan balance with that contingency if it's unused. So if we don't use that contingency, we will reduce your loan balance, but we will not reduce your payment. So all you're going to do is pay us off sooner. So contingency is on every construction loan. If unused, it reduces your balance, but does not reduce your payment. In our construction program, we do sometimes allow you to roll in up to 6 months of mortgage payments so that you can begin that construction process without having to make a mortgage payment. It is available. Payments begin even though that project is not 100% complete. So as I mentioned previously, that payment is going to start within 30 to 45 days of closing that loan, even though that house is not completed and you're not living in it yet. Who cannot do what the 184 loan cannot do? They can't do infrastructure. So they're not going to do the streets and the roads to get to the property. They're not going to do interim loans, so loans between. We don't do commercial buildings of any kind. We don't do rental properties. and we don't do apartment complexes. We do units 1 to 4 families, but greater than 4 families, we do not offer a lending product for that large of a living area. Income. Well, there's a lot of different types of income we take into consideration when we're trying to determine the affordability of a family. We're going to take into consideration their salary and their wages. Sometimes we'll take into consideration the bonus and overtime. If they're on a commission scale, we'll take into consideration their commissions. If they're seasonal and part-time, sometimes we have employee members that maybe do a seasonal position on top of a regular position. We'll take that into consideration. We'll consider alimony, child support, and retirement income. We'll consider Social Security income. We'll consider self-employment as a source of income, provided you've been self-employed for 2 years. And we'll also take into consideration any type of tribal distribution that the tribe offers to the member. We'll take that into consideration as income as well. So lots of different sources. Maximum loan amount. Typically what we're going to do is we're going to lend you up to 97.75% of what the appraised value is of that property. All we're doing is taking the 100% value of that property and backing off the 2 1/4 down payment. And we're lending you up to 97.75. Each county has a maximum limit. So when we look at how much money we're going to lend you, there's a rule that says we'll lend you the lower of the total cost minus the down payment, the appraised value minus the down payment, or the county limit. We'll do the lower of 1, 2, or 3. Arizona has different county limits for different counties. As you can see, we have listed here, Maricopa is 467,200, Pinal is 441,600, and the remaining counties are 420, except for Coconino is 510,200. So Coconino is just a little bit higher as well.
And if there is a county that somebody's interested in and it's not one of these, we can look it up and look it for you. That's kind of the majority of them.
Okay, funds to close your loan. There's different sources we can use as far as where your money's coming from for your down payment and closing costs. It could be the sale of a personal item. It could be the proceeds from a home you just sold. You can borrow from your own 401k. And when you borrow money from your own 401k, we're not going to consider that a debt because you're borrowing money from yourself. So when you borrow money from your own 401k, that will not impact your debt ratio that Dark Feather spoke about earlier. You can do a sale of investments. Sometimes there's other types of income that, you know, maybe it just varies. There's so many things that could happen out there. You could use your checking and your savings account. You could do a secured loan. Is an example would be a car title loan where you secure your vehicle and borrow against it. That's a secured loan, and you could use that type of funds for down payment. You could get a gift from a family member. You could save cash and get that cash deposited into your account, and then you would have to verify how you were able to establish that cash. If you own your land, you could also use your land as equity for the down payment and the closing costs. So there's lots of different resources and ways. And another one that's not even on here is you can sometimes get a grant or a gift from your tribe or housing department, which, you know, again, a lot of the tribes, they vary. Some tribes do, you know, a match. Some tribes give up to. Sometimes some tribes don't give any. But if you don't know, you don't. If you don't ask, you don't really know. So I always encourage my families and members to double check with their tribes. But since I do so many loans in Arizona, I'm pretty familiar with most of the programs available by most of the tribes. Credit history. When we're looking at that credit report, there's a few things we're looking for. We're looking, now credit reports no longer show liens or judgments. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a special report to determine if there's any liens or judgments against you. If you had a lien or a judgment, you have to have that lien or judgment paid for at least 12 months to be eligible for the Section 184 loan. If you filed a bankruptcy, you have to wait 2 years from the day of discharge to be eligible for the Section 184 loan. If you've had a foreclosure, you'd have to wait 3 years to be eligible for the Section 184 loan. Occasionally we'll come across a family that has just absolutely no credit score at all. They just don't have a credit score. They don't use credit. That is perfectly acceptable in our program, provided you offer us 2 different trade lines that you have made payment on for 12 months. What we're generally looking for is a utility bill, a cell phone bill, maybe it could be car insurance, it could be rent. We're looking for at least 2 things that you have made at least 12 months of payments on time if you have no credit score, okay? We are not credit score driven. So what that means is, yes, credit score matters, and obviously the better your credit score, the more advantageous the interest rate will be. However, we're not simply going to turn somebody away because they don't have a credit score or because they have a low credit score. We're not necessarily concerned about that credit score. We're more concerned about what that credit report says about your payment pattern. Are you able to manage your money and manage your money well and make your payments on time? That's really what we're looking for when we look at a credit report. A lot of times I'll work with a family and maybe we're not ready right now. Maybe we need to work on a couple things. So I'll never tell somebody no. I will just say these are the items we need to resolve or begin to work on or prepare so that we can put ourselves in a position for a Section 184 loan. So it's never really no. Sometimes it's no, not right now. Let's get a couple of things taken care of and then we can proceed. The loan application it's very simple. It asks you all your personal information. You know, who are you? Where do you live? How long have you lived there? Where are you employed? Basic information. It's the same in any loan program. That application is industry-wide standard application. We're going to ask for the same documents any other loan program would require, with one difference. The one difference is that tribal ID. The borrower must be a member of a federally recognized tribe. So that federal ID to prove that you are a member of a federally registered tribe gets you into the program. The co-borrower does not have to be Native American and does not have to be a member of a tribe at all. So you don't even have to be married. So 2 people who are engaged could be on this loan. Both of them do not need to be tribal members. Just the borrower needs to be tribal member. The borrower can be a tribal member and a full-time student with no income and still have a co-borrower on the loan that is the one making all the income. That's perfectly acceptable. Just because you are a full-time student not generating income does not necessarily make you ineligible for the program. Obviously, you need to have income to repay us, but that income could come from a co-borrower who is a non-tribal member. And of course, we would ask for the same things on every loan package that every other lender will ask for, which is your pay stubs to prove your income, your W-2s and your tax returns for 2 years. Again, your tribal ID, your driver's license, and we would ask for a copy of your social security card if available. And then we also like to look at bank statements. Those bank statements are another piece of the puzzle that tells us how prepared that family is and how well they maintain their money. Those underwriters are looking for things like overdraws. Are there any debts possibly coming out of that checking account that we're unaware of? So a lot of times that checking account can tell us if we possibly have missed anything or might have more questions. There's several different ways you can apply for this loan. You can call me directly. I can take an application over the phone. I can email out a pre-qualification. I can email out a full loan package. We at First Tribal also have a very advanced portal system that allows the family to provide a complete application and provide their documents through our secure portal. So they can literally take pictures and upload their documents right into their record. And that enables me the opportunity to review and double check all the information provided when I'm trying to determine the affordability of that family. This is basically a couple things that I always want to share with my members, just so they know, because not a lot of people know that once you start a loan process, there's a few things you don't want to do. So you don't really want to quit your job because obviously your income goes away and you're no longer eligible. However, changing jobs can sometimes happen during the process, because if you have an opportunity to increase your affordability and increase your wages, it's obviously something you would take advantage of. So quitting your job is not a good thing. Changing jobs is perfectly allowable. Another thing we like to keep, we like to warn people of is don't increase your debt. We've determined how much money we're going to loan to you based on the debts that you shared with us. So if you change your debts during the process, that can change your affordability and change your qualification. Put large amounts of money into your account without documentation. This is a government insured loan. So they're going to want to know where funds are coming to and from. They want to make sure they know the source of those funds. So anytime you put a large deposit, which is defined by more than $500, into a bank account, we're going to want to know what the source of those funds were. Sometimes we can see that maybe you're just moving money from your checking and savings, which is perfectly acceptable, because as long as we can show that it's going from one account to the other, it's not a problem. Borrower unsecured funds. So don't go borrow money for down payment and throw it in your bank account if it's not secured. We're not going to accept that as a source of funds for down payment if you did not secure those funds, because it wouldn't be eligible funds for down payment. Try not to avoid moving money between accounts. We have several times you can see families might have 4 or 5 bank accounts and they move money throughout those accounts throughout the month, and it gets a little complicated when you're trying to keep track of all the money movement. So we try to discourage people from doing a lot of transfers while they're in the process. Don't have your credit pulled by others, because this could result in credit inquiries. And if you have credit inquiries on your credit report, we're going to want to know why others are pulling your credit, and if you're establishing new lines of credit, because again, we're going to be concerned, are you opening new credit lines and increasing your debt? Don't overdraw your bank account. This could be an indication that you can't manage money. Kind of goes back to the reason why we look at bank statements, is we're looking to determine if you can manage money. So we strongly try to encourage our families to pay close attention to their bank accounts and not overdraw their accounts during the process. Don't make late payments on your rent or your debts, because we don't want to have to explain why you're not making a payment or why your rent was late when you're in the process of purchasing a home. It's kind of an important one. Don't co-sign or become a co-borrower for another debt. Many people believe a lot of times that they co-sign for their brother, sister, nephew, daughter, when in fact, they're not co-signers, they're actually co-borrowers. When you're a co-borrower, you're liable for that debt. That debt just became your debt. There's a big difference between a co-signer and a co-borrower. And I would have to tell you that most people believe that when they co-sign for a car loan, they don't realize it, but they're actually a co-borrower, and that debt just became theirs. Don't forget to mention, if you're going through the process, if you have other payments, such as an IRS payment or child support. A lot of times, we're not going to see the IRS or the child support payment on your credit report. So unless you make us aware of it, we won't sometimes know about it until those tax transcripts come in. And then we'll see a balance owing, and then we'll ask you, oh, are you making payments to the IRS? With child support, we might not know until we see it on a pay stub. So it's kind of important that if you have other debts that might not be reflected on a credit report, that you make your loan officer aware of it so that we can take that into consideration. Those are my loan tips. Oh, questions? Questions?
You guys got a crash course of the 184 loan. So a lot of information just crammed into that.
Please feel free to use the chat function as well to add your questions if that's helpful, and we can help navigate that. Okay, Renee and Dark Feather, is it helpful if we read these off, or do you want, how would you like us to?
Okay.
So Amber asked,
Sure,
what's the
either way,
difference in-
what is,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead, you can ask the question.
Okay, so Amber asked, what's the difference in language on the document for a co-signer versus a co-borrower?
The difference in the language is the co-borrower is liable for that debt. A co-signer is not liable for the actual debt. So that's the big difference. People don't realize, especially at a car dealership, when they go in to offer assistance or help to a family member, they might assume they're a co-signer, which means they're not liable for that debt. Where if you're a co-borrower, the language in that contract makes you liable and responsible for that debt each month. So that's the difference. The language that those dealers put in that contract.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A good question.
Corey asked if this recording would be available. Yes, it will be available. We will be saving it to the MAG YouTube channel, and we will send out that information with a post-webinar survey. Corey, do you have another question? I see your hand is up.
Yes, I do. Thank you for that very informative presentation. I didn't know this loan existed in Navajo. So I have a question, and you may have covered
yay.
it. And I apologize if I missed it, but is there, oh geez. If there's already home that's built on the reservation and say it's not in good conditions, but you want to renovate it so that you could live in it, is that something that this loan could possibly be used for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. The one thing that we would have to do, though, being it's on the reservation, is we would want to double check and make sure that you or whoever is getting the loan, that they have the rights to the dirt, the rights to the land. So whose land, whose home was that? Was it grandma's? Was it mom's? Was it uncle's? We need to see that they had transferred over at BIA to give whoever our borrower is the permission to use that land for the mortgage. So I would just double check on title, whose ever home that was, to make sure that it gets transferred to whoever our borrower is going to be, to make sure that we can do the mortgage. But that's definitely something that we can do. Yes. Good question. Is Serena?
Yes, I just have
raised her hand?
yes, I have a clarification question. So I heard you guys call it certified title status report. And then
Yes, ma'am.
the other thing that you said was the lease has to be a year old. So like for Navajo, it's called home site lease. The home site lease wouldn't be the same as the certified title status report, right? We would have to ask for that additionally.
Correct.
Typically-
Yes.
Go ahead, Dark
The
Feather.
lease is going, the lease is going to show up on the title status report. So BIA has an informational title status report, and then they also have the certified title status report. We want the certified one. We want the one that has the signature on it. That's how we know the BIA has gone through that specific plot and went through and updated everything that's on there. So there might be a new lease there might be a new mortgage, there might be a new encumbrance of some sort from the
Usually-
last time that they certified it. So
Okay,
we want that to be a year old, not the lease. The lease
Okay.
we want to see has that. Yep. Sorry about that. The lease has to have at least 10 years over our mortgage. So if we're doing a 30-year mortgage, we want to see that lease has a term of at least over 10 years of what our mortgage is going to be, because we want you to enjoy the home
yeah,
after the mortgage too. So. Mhm.
yeah, the leases on Navajo are usually 60 years, so.
Well, lately
Okay.
they've been 75. The new ones that are being approved are now 75 years.
Yeah,
And the only thing else that you might see on a TSR is if there was a resolution, that history on that title status report will tell us the history of the recording of that home site and any resolutions to that lease that were done. So that's the information that TSR provides us. That guarantees us as a lender to know that not only has that home site lease been approved, but it's also been recorded with the Bureau of Indian Affairs so that we know that there's a record out there. So that's the real key. And typically with the Navajo Nation, I deal a lot with Navajo Nation. I usually go to the agency and request the TSR myself. That way, I know what I'm getting. And since I have such a long-term relationship, I usually get them within 30 days. So typically, your TSRs will come back to you within 30 days of your request.
and Renee, I have another question for you since you work here in the Arizona area. Just for my records, data is really important in the work that we do. How many of the tribes, and I don't know if you can tell this or not, but how many of the tribes take advantage of this home loan? How many of the community members from each tribe? And like we said before, at the beginning of the webinar, somebody said, you know, I didn't even know about this. And I just happened to Google just because I had heard something in my social work field about something like this. So I happened to just Google this and find out about this HUD loan. But I'm just wondering how much more work we can do by the way of like sharing this on radio stations, sharing this on social media within the housing authority areas, so that our community members in each of the 22 tribes hear and learn about this. And the other thing too to take into consideration is it's just so overwhelming, right? To navigate,
Yes, yes.
navigate not only the loan side, but as well as navigating our own tribal sovereignties infrastructures. My home site lease took, and I'm very diligent. I'm very, I will call every week and literally kept all my records, and it took me 6 months. And that was fully like engaging my
Engaged.
parents for their home site lease. It took them, I think this is when I was in high school. So it took them about 3 years to get through the whole process. And so
Absolutely.
it's just, I'd love to know those numbers so we know who we can support more within the 22 tribal nations here in Arizona.
Well, a lot of my time and Darkfeather's time as well is spent visiting with the tribes and offering these types of presentations. So that's what we do. We travel to a lot of these tribes and we offer this education. Most of the tribes here know me. I work closely with them. They refer me, their members all the time. Statistically, how many members is that? Well, that would be hard to put a number on, especially with
Not
the
enough.
application
Not
because
enough.
yeah. So that'd be a hard one to give you a number for, but I could tell you that I do work closely with, I would have to say, almost all of the tribes, except for the ones that are not approved 184 or don't have that
And the hard
in place.
I'm sorry,
The
did I
hard
hear
part
you
is
right that
w-
most tribes take advantage of this?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. That's great to hear.
Mhm. Definitely.
We do have another question from Corey in the chat about the utilization rate.
Yeah, that was basically the same question that Serena had
Okay.
asked, so thank you.
Mhm.
And Corey did provide her contact
The-
information also in the chat for those who are interested.
yes,
Thank you, Corey, for that, Corey.
thank you. Thank you, Corey. But the hard part is that we're trying to make the partnerships with the tribe. So we can go to tribe, we can go to the housing authority, we can establish those relationships. The hard part is, what about those tribal members who are off reservation, who don't go to the tribe, who don't rely on housing? Those tribal members are the ones that we're trying to reach. And so it is hard because it is such a niche product. We're not mainstream, not everybody can use this. So we're trying to figure out, as best we can anyway, social media, these kind of events, trainings, stuff like that, that can reach those tribal members that don't really reach out to the tribe specifically. So this is a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much for allowing us to be
Absolutely.
here.
I would have to say that it amazes me the number of realtors who have never been taught, never heard of this, that this program even exists. They don't teach this in real estate school because when the background of the history of this program, when this program was created, it was created to help natives on the reservation. So originally, this program was only available if you were doing something on the reservation. You couldn't get a loan under the 184 program off the reservation. It wasn't until later that Arizona was declared Indian country, and this program became available to natives off the reservation. So I get lots of phone calls when people, are going into contract or making offers on the house from the realtors that say, I'm not familiar with this program. Can you explain it? And again, I just kind of go into the differences of the FHA, which I refer to as the cousin, and then the differences comparable to the 184, which is strictly for the Native American. Just so many wonderful benefits we can offer the Native American, both on and off the reservation.
Well,
Any
thank you
other
all very much
questions?
for your time today. I don't see any other questions. I will let those know who are on the call today. We will be sending out the slides that were shown today, along with our presenters' contact information and a survey for future webinar ideas specifically related to increasing affordable housing options on tribal lands. We really read those surveys, so if you could take just 2 or 3 minutes to complete it, it would be great for us to make sure that we have more speakers like Dark Feather and Renee, who can come and provide us with such insightful information that we can apply here in our community. Again, we will also be posting this recording on our YouTube channel, and we will make sure to send you that link. So if you have colleagues who are not able to join us today and you'd like to share this information with them, that will also be readily available. And we just thank you. Maricopa Association of Governments thanks you, and I will let Lisa and Serena say their thank yous as well.
Yes, thank you so much. It was such an interesting discussion and presentation. We learned a lot, and we very, very much appreciate your time today. So thank you, and hope to see you in person sometime soon.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to get the word out, to share the information and the knowledge, and hopefully bring affordable housing to many more families.
Yes.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, is there any other last questions or remarks from the rest of the group? Of course, we always say this is a place to network and get to know each other, and then we just quickly get off. So I want to make sure we leave some room for some remarks from others too, as we hopefully our next session, you see the need for this, and you'll join and spread the word about these webinars. And I'll leave the floor open for anybody else who'd like to share.
Does Dylan have his hand up? No. Oh, okay.
No questions for me. Thank you.
No, okay. Oh, it's my cursor. It was just right over at your right over your name. I'm like, I see a hand up. Nope, that's my cursor.
I think we're good. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you all.
Let us know if you have
Bye-bye.
any questions. Bye-bye.